I stall, pause, my eyes crawl to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Dog dice and woes of life, loved and proud, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal shaded lens, moments reflected off the mirrors and pit, clear, great from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame, close as she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and it is Tuesday, so you know where we are. And we're one of my favorite places, of course. And if you haven't been here, you need to come. Georgia's Happy Hog, located 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln, south of the state capitol, north of the OU Medical Center, right there across from the Harn Homestead, right there on Lincoln, or off Lincoln. So you can't miss it. It's just, you can either go into the Harn Homestead or you can come and go up the hill where all the homes are on Culbertson Drive there. For catering events, contact them, 405-525-8111. And, of course, they have their Thanksgiving special coming on where they'll smoke turkeys and do all the stuff for you. So they've got that all set up and rolling. They are closed Sundays and Mondays. They're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 7, and then on Saturdays from 11 to 5. They usually close early on Saturdays, just FYI, because I've been by here and barely caught them at 5. So if there's nobody here, they may close a little bit early. But count on 11 to 5 on Saturdays. And, of course, all this is brought to you by YNB, family-owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. Proud sponsor for us to be here today at Georgia's Happy Hog, sponsoring women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. We appreciate their support. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you go into their 5 locations, the main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB East, which is off the Parkway, and US 66 or 39th Expressway, YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road, YNB Parkway, which is off I-40, and Garth Brooks, just south of I-40 on Garth Brooks. Cannot miss it, right in front of the hospital. And then, of course, YNB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. So, by the way, it's some lady walked in and go, it smells so good in here. Yes, it does. And it tastes good. It smells good, tastes good. It's fantastic. If you haven't been here, you guys need to come on in. It is. I love me some Georges. Just saying. Now, of course, I am prejudiced when it comes to them. I love it. I've been coming here for a year and a half, 2 years, or however long we've been doing our show every Tuesday or Friday, depending. Because the reason why we come on Tuesdays and Fridays, they have mac and cheese. I don't know if y'all favorites of mac and cheese. I like mac and cheese. Just saying, I like mac and cheese. I know a lot of people that like mac and cheese. And that being said, let's break right into it. We're going to talk about the Thunder right now. And the Thunder took care of business last night over the Kings in Sacramento. And the ironic part of this, we had not beaten Sacramento in Sacramento since January 29, 2020. And we beat them by 20. So I thought that was funny, is that we haven't played them since 2020. And we beat them by 20 the last time we played them in 2020. And then, of course, we beat them by 20. So I thought that was interesting, the way that played out. 130 to 109. Thunder improving to 13-4, now in sole possession of first place. And, of course, that will be tomorrow. That will be up for grabs, if you want to call it that, because we do play the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night, and, of course, they lost last night. So the Thunder, of course, are now in sole possession of first place, and we'll go over the standings here in just a minute. The Kings, of course, fall into 8-10. The Kings 8 for 32 from three, and they were knocking down the shots early. But once our defense stiffened up in the second, third, and fourth quarter, especially that third quarter when we made our run, that was the end of all that nonsense. Because at the beginning of the game, they were getting wide open shots all over the damn place. Thunder 14 for 32. Slowly starting to get up in our three-point shooting, slowly starting to get up. We struggled right there at the beginning. And I think it's just because a lot of it had to do with everybody being hurt and just getting out of rhythm and just trying to get into some sort of flow, playing out of position. And we talked about this on after the storm, the OKC Thunder post-game show. We had some people who were talking about calling our coach, the mad scientist. Well, I don't want no damn mad scientist. I want a damn coach who understands lineups. I want a damn coach who understands the flow of the game. I don't want no damn scientist. I don't need that. I don't need no experimentation. When you look at Boston, the reason why they're doing what they're doing, you look at Cleveland, the reason why they're doing what they're doing, they have a set rotation of players. You're going to play this minute, you're going to play this when you play. Everybody knows, and they get a cohesiveness of togetherness. So I know that if I'm playing with Nathan or Randy or John, whoever I'm playing with, I know if I do this, they're going to do that. If they do this, if I do this, they're going to do that. If they do this, I'm going to do that. They know exactly what's going to happen. Versus you playing with guys who don't know. Like last night, SGA went over the double team, and Dillon Jones didn't drop down, got a back door. Those are things that playing together as a unit you're not going to see when you have SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and Dort on the floor, or Ihart now that he's back. So that's a good thing. The Thunder shot 55.8% from the field. Great shooting night. 48% for the Kings, which ironically getting beat 21 and shooting 48%. That doesn't really happen that often. The Thunder out-rebounded them 44-31 and only giving up 9 offensive rebounds. A lot of that had to do with Ihart. It just does. He's just a monster. 56-42 in pips, points in the paint. 15-12 in turnovers, and SGA had 6 of those. He had a horrible night as far as passing the ball. But one time, Dort was trying to go to the basket. SGA was passed to the corner because Dort is always in the corner. What are you doing? And that's part of what I was saying is that just coach, put him – look, I don't want you doing – just stay in the corner. Knock down threes. That's what SGA expected you to do because that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be trying to create plays and get creative. I don't want you doing none of that. I just want you catching and shooting the threes. Thunder bench outscored the Kings 40-22. And then when you look at the game stats, here are the game stats for the night. Here's what happened with the game stats. And when you look at that, you can kind of see what the Thunder did and what they were accomplishing. And we ended up doing what I think we wanted to do offensively, no doubt. But it was still a little struggle for us to get done what we need to get done. J-Dub, 28 points, 10 for 16, a very good night for him. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He had 5 turnovers. So between SGA and J-Dub, they had 11 of our 15 turnovers. 11 of 15. Your 2 best players have 11 of your 15 turnovers, and you still win by 20. So goes to show you how deep this team is. Second deepest team in the league. Isaiah Hartenstein, 17 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, and that's just to count the number of rebounds he got his hands on the offensive defensive end, that he got tipped out or held somebody touch. And I mean, our secondary group of Wiggins and what he was doing, getting his hands on balls and stuff like that, made a huge difference, I think, in closing this game out. And once again, as Nathan Taylor said last night of YNB, that Aaron Wiggins, another start, another W. We need to go back and look at what his starts is. I want to say he's probably 12 or 13-1, or 12 and 13-2, or 11-2, or something like 13 and 14-2 since of being a starter. So he did good. But 3 for 6, 1 for 2, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. His hustle was great. And then a couple times, though, I really was not happy with him because you could see that he got beat on a couple of plays that he didn't rebound, box out one time. He was lackadaisical another time. And I don't know what that was because that's usually not him. So, but it's the league. It's 82 games. It's a lot of damn games. And so everybody can't be locked in 24/7 on every play. So, but he's played well this year, so I'm going to give him a pass on those instances that he did that. But against a Boston, against a Denver, against the Golden State Warriors, against the Rockets, against teams that are up there that are going, you can't afford to have those lapses because possessions matter. It's what we were talking about on the show last night. I was trying to explain to these guys, possessions matter. You can't give away 2 or 3 possessions in the second quarter, because first quarter, because you want to play Dylan Jones, AJ Green, and all of them on one flag on one play. You're giving away possessions. And in close games, possessions matter. Those 2 or 3 possessions you gave away are the difference between you being up 6, you being up 8, or you being up 1. There's a huge difference. It's a huge difference in what you're doing, giving up possessions. You can't afford to give away possessions because you want to play people. That's what I'm trying to explain to everyone. Possessions matter. Lou Dort, 39 minutes. How the hell he played more minutes than SJ? I don't know how anybody should play more minutes than your best player. I don't. Anyway, I'm not the coach, and I don't get him. 0 points, 0 for 2 shooting. And I think he's got a couple games now where he has not scored. So, but I will have the updated stats for tomorrow for after the game tonight, because we have who do we have tonight? We have Golden State tomorrow night, and then we have the Lakers on Friday, and then the Rockets on Sunday. All 4 of those away games. Then you come down to Kendrick Williams. I thought he played pretty good last night. 10 points, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, 4 for 4 from free throw line. Like I said, Dylan Jones, those 6 minutes, really 4 minutes that he played, I don't see in my mind, I don't see a scenario where I want him on the court than Kendrick Williams. I want him on the court other than Isaiah Joe. I don't have him on the court other than Kaysen. I don't see, because Kaysen ended up getting hurt. That's why I only played 15. I don't see him on the court in front of A.J. Mitchell. I don't see him on the court before Wiggins. I don't see him on the court instead of Dort. I don't see him on the court instead of Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't see him on the court instead of SGA. I don't see him on the court instead of Jalen Williams. J-Dub, not J-Will. I don't see that. I don't understand that. I know you're trying to play players, but dude, it's clear. It's like Jane. He ain't ready. And I like the kid, but he ain't ready. He's just not. He's not ready for this yet. Isaiah Joe, 21 minutes, 3 for 10, 3 for 8. He's got to start shooting better. But like, again, we've been talking about this for towards the end of last year and this year. They're running him off his spots. They're running him off the spot. They're not allowing him to do that. Now, Nathan says that he believes once he and iHeart play together more that they won't be able to do that because iHeart's such an excellent passer and that he'll be able to hit him. So that's what Nathan says. I don't think so, but that's just me. We shall see. I hope that – excuse me. I hope I'm wrong. Kaysen Wallace, 15 minutes, 4 points. Of course, he got hurt his ankle, and I don't know exactly how that's going to happen, but, whatever. But A.J. Mitchell played great. Once again, 15 points. I really like this kid. We talked about this on the show last night, that we like him better than we like Kaysen offensively. Okay? Offensively, we like him better because he can do more with the ball. He can score and do more. But Kaysen's a much better defensive player than A.J. Mitchell. And I don't mind A.J. being in the game, but not on the last 4 or 5 minutes. I don't want him on the court because I don't want to give away possessions. I don't believe in giving away points. Here's what the record is right now. The Thunder are 5-2 in these last 10 games. And we lost to the Spurs, which we shouldn't, and we lost to the Mavs, which we shouldn't. But that's coaching. So tomorrow night we have the Warriors, and we'll talk more about that. And remember, the Warriors gave us our first loss of the season. That's the game that Chet got hurt in. So we'll see how we're going to respond to them in Golden State, especially since they have lost the last 2. And then, of course, the Laker game, we don't match up with them at all. At all. But I think it's a must that we have to beat the Lakers because, one, it is the midseason tournament. So we have to be able to get them because, remember, we lost already. So we need to get that W, and then we're automatically moving on. So we need to get that win. It's a huge important, and he can't be playing nonsense. We got those, if you care about the in-season tournament, then you got to play the guys because we're deeper than they are all the way around. They're just bigger than we are. And when we go with that small lineup, I'm just really afraid what they're going to do to us with AD on the floor. And I just don't know how that's going to work out. That kind of scares me. But I still think we have a chance to win if we're knocking down shots and we can get them where they've got to go up down the court and they get down by a bunch of points and we're scoring and knocking down threes, I think, and turning them over and getting easy baskets in transition. off turnovers and off steals. That's going to help us out quite a bit. Get over that. That's kind of how I feel. But whether that can be accomplished or not, I don't know. But that is something that we're going to have to really focus on and try to get around, I believe. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. This weather's beating me up as far as my sinuses are concerned. But those of you who have sinuses, y'all know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. So now that leads me to the NBA standings as we see them right now. The Thunder, of course, are on top of the West, 13-4. The Warriors are 12-5 right now. The Rockets, 12-6. Now, we did have a discussion on the show last night on After the Storm about how they think the Rockets are a flash in the pan. I don't think that. They were athletic. And when they got Udoka last year, I said that team in a year is going to be, because remember, I think they're a year behind us. I think we're a year younger than them, maybe a year, a little less than 2 years younger than them. So they're young. They've got a coach who understands that they just don't have a superstar. They have an emerging superstar, however you want to look at, in Jalen Green. He's not quite there yet. But he's a beast. And then, of course, Amen Thompson gives SGA all kinds of fits. He's the torture chamber. He's their version of our torture chamber. The Lakers 10-6. The Grizzlies 11-2. So, think about this. Our next 3 games, we played the number 2 seed, the number 3 seed, and the number 4 seed. That's who we play in our next 3 games. Okay? So if you can go 2-1 of that group, you can really establish yourself. But remember, we've already lost to the Warriors, so we've got to even that out. You can't have because I think we only played them 3 times. So if there's a tiebreaker, they win the tiebreaker. That's why it's so important, and I try to get people to understand it has nothing to do with the beginning of the season. It's about who you're playing. You got to be able to understand possessions. You got to be able to understand flow of the game. You got to understand the importance of certain games. Certain games matter more than other games. They just do. And you have to go against, we've already lost the Warriors. We can't afford to lose the tiebreaker to them. So we've got to win tonight or tomorrow night. You've got to beat them. You've got to beat them. You can't be playing crazy lineups. You've got to go with your lineups. SGA needs to play the first and third quarter. You need to play J-Dub, take him out, and then you need to have your group together. And, of course, now with Kaysen and Caruso out and Chet out, that's really going to hamper us defensively. So, it depends on how bad Caruso is, but we shall see how bad he's really hurt. So hopefully we can get him back. And Kaysen is just, not too bad of an ankle thing, so he can come back and play. But without those two, the chances of going 2-1 out of this group is going to be crazy. I don't see that happening. Maybe 1-2, maybe 0-3. If we don't have Kaysen and Caruso, I think we're going to be in trouble. We still can win, but if you're trying to play Dylan Jones meaningful minutes and giving away possessions, it's not going to happen. It's just not. Those teams start rolling, and it's just over. You can't let teams like that start rolling and get into a groove. The Grizzlies are sitting there at 5 at 11-7, slowly coming on winners of their last 3. And then after that, the Mavs are still an enigma, but I think they're trying to figure out Klay Thompson. How does he fit in with their group? And then there are the Spurs. Chris Paul matters. Chris Paul matters. He is the guy that makes that. He is the cog in the engine that makes the piston in the engine that makes it go. Then you look at the East, which we really don't care about. The winners, the Celtics have won 6 in a row. They're chasing down the Cavs. But the Cavs really have not played really anybody. And the only loss came to when they played the Celtics. Other than that, you look at it, the Knicks had a huge win last night over the Nuggets. They just smashed them. It wasn't even really close. The Nuggets, they just don't know who they are right now. I don't think. They just don't know. They've lost so many players. Bruce Brown and then losing KCP is going to really, really hurt them. And, you got younger players, and that's fine. But clearly adding Westbrook did not help them, even though they said he's a vocal leader. That shit doesn't mean anything. You got to be able to play and make plays. And those days for him doing that are over. So here are my power rankings right now as we speak. Celtics 1, Cavs 2, Thunder 3, Golden State Warriors 4, the Rockets 5, Lakers 6, Grizzlies 7. And that's why I have it here, a Mavs 8, Clippers 9, and a Magic 10. So I have 3 Eastern Conference teams in here, the 2 at the top and the 1 at the bottom. And then the other ones are sitting in the middle. The other 7 are all West teams. because the Western Conference is just tougher. The teams are better. It just is what it is. That being said, my basketball camp is coming up December 30th and 31st at Santa Fe Family Life Center. Here's the thing: you can go on and you can use these QR code to sign up for it and get your shirts and get your kids signed up for that. You can do that right there on that QR code to get all that going if you're interested in bringing your child to camp. And remember, our camp, we only take 25 kids. That's the maximum we take. I prefer 20, but we'll max out at 25 because of the simple fact that my camp is about teaching. It's not about making a bunch of money. It's about teaching kids the intricacies of the game. How do I dribble my left? How do I shoot with my left? How do I slide over and play defense? How do I move without the ball? How do I catch the ball? All those things matter when it comes to basketball. So that being said, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. Because I appreciate these guys. We couldn't get anything done without SRB. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, and planning, hit our guys up over there. They love to be behind the scenes. If you have a new complex or building that you're building, they can come in and make sure that it works out the way that it should. Also, if you have a water treatment plant, in fact, we were talking about this with Robin Mullins yesterday about water treatment plants. Need to have it. I like clean water. I know y'all like clean drinking water, and they will make sure that you have it because he was telling me about the new casino that they're getting there in Durant at Texoma and that how water can be a problem. Well, I know those guys know how to fix that and make sure that can happen. Collaborative Logic, if you need for computers or software to make your office run smoother or business run smoother, they can do all that for you. And also they do website designs, but the thing that I like about them most, they did our website at mcsportsnetwork.com and did our T-shirts. The thing that I like about them is that whenever I have a problem, they can just remote in. They don't have to, boom, you have access to your internet, boom, they come in, remote in, fix whatever problem that you have right there at your desk and get it done. That's just a fantastic feature. I truly, truly love that, and they've helped me out, I don't know, so many times I can't even think about it. And, of course, Oak Grove Trucking, if you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit our guys up over there. They love to be able to take care of you. And then, of course, YNB, family-owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. Proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into their locations, the main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB East, which is off the Parkway at 66 or 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right there on Garth Brooks. Cannot miss it, right in front of the hospital. And then YNB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. Cannot miss it. And my guy, Elm Grove Clothing, Jonathan Binky Triplet. He is the dude to talk to about suits. Why spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of suit when you can spend $800 and get the same suit? Same material, looks just as good. He'll come into your house or your business and size you up, get everything done, and hook you up. So hit my guy, Jonathan Binky Triplet up, 405-332-8787. That's 405-332-8787. Now, that being said, here are the T-shirts that we have for the Matt Clark Academy and Matt Clark Basketball Camp. Here are all the prices. Prices start at $20. Here are the shirts, and here are the different sizes and the cost of those sizes that you can get. And you can email the edgeoutfitters@gmail.com if you want to do it, because I've got all these people asking me about shirts. If you want one, hey, guys, here you go. This is how you get them. You can go in and order them, and you can get the red. I don't do red or crimson or whatever the hell color you call it. I don't do that color, but if you want to, hey, by all means, go ahead and do that, because Matt ain't doing none of that. None, nada, zippo, zilch. Ain't happening. So, now we're going to talk about something that's kind of crazy. We have the games coming up for the NBA, and then that's going to tie into what we're talking about. Here are the games today. You have the Bulls at the Wizards. The Wizards plus 4.5. Over-under is 244. I think the Bulls will take care of the Wizards. The Wizards are struggling. big time over there in D.C. Bucks and the Heat, that game should be better. The Heat are 2-point favorites, but you never know what's going to happen because they've got that bad man, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then also, they've got another guy who's not too bad either. Dame time. He's not a bad player either. They've got both of those guys there. Of course, 2.5 is the over-under. That game will be on TNT tonight. I'll be watching it. You got the Rockets and the T-Wolves tonight. Rockets 12-4. T-Wolves 8-8. T-Wolves -3.5. That's in Minnesota. That's a must-win for the Timberwolves. Now, they're still trying to figure out how to put together because when they made the trade sending Cat to New York, that trade has seemed to be working out more for New York right now than it is the T-Wolves, but I do believe they will get it worked out with Ant-Man as their chief guy. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them, but I believe they'll get it done. Spurs and Jazz. Spurs got to have this game. They've got to continue doing what they're doing. The Jazz, they're kind of where Oklahoma City was. They're rebuilding, trying to get the right players together. So they're like the Thunder were a couple years ago. They're hard to watch, but they're still competitive. And if you let your guard down, they will beat you. They will sneak up on you. So, it's imperative that the Spurs take care of business tonight. Lakers and the Suns. This is a huge game for both of them. Lakers 10-6 must keep deal with them, keep pace with the Thunder and with Golden State Warriors and with the Rockets. So those are games that they must win. They've got to win right now. And this is the thing: do we want the Lakers coming off a loss? I'd rather them beat the Suns and then be coming off of W than having a loss and then us having to deal with that because, they'll be at home. They'll have their fans there in La La Land, and they'll be very, very focused. So that game worries me a little bit. I would prefer them to lose tonight or to win, to beat the Suns in order to give us a chance to get the W. That's kind of how I look at it. That's just me. I know I may be overlooking it a little bit, but that's just how I'm gauging it at this particular point. And the reason why I was bringing all this up is because Chet comes back after the All-Star game or right before the All-Star game. Now, I would say just depending on who we play. Let me say, who do we play? That's what it's going to depend on. No, he's supposed to come back right about the All-Star game. So to me, it depends on who we're playing right before, but it's almost – I'm torn between letting him wait till give him those extra 3 days or 4 days of rest. That's kind of how I look at it. Okay, let me see. Okay, we have Pelicans, Heat, and then we go to the T-Wolves right before the All-Star break, and then we're off until we come back and we play the Jazz the following Friday. So to me, let's just keep him off, and then let's make that run for those last 27, 28 games, and let's go, 22-5, 21-6, or 22-6, or 22-5, or 23-5, 22-6, if there's 28 games. So that's what I would do just for us to make sure Chet is 100% healthy, because I think he needs to be 100% healthy in order for us to make the run that we need to make, because it's not really how you start, but like I was saying earlier, you can't give away games either. Okay, especially against teams that you could come down to a tiebreaker with. That's the Rockets. That's Golden State. That's the Lakers. That's who is our other one right there? The Grizzlies even coming in. So those teams up at the top that you worry about: Golden State, us, Rockets, Lakers, Grizzlies, and even the T-Wolves. You have to take care of business, and you have to win the tiebreaker, which is what happened with us with Denver last year. Because remember, they beat us the very first game of the year. Then we beat them in Denver. And then the next night, SGA hit the shot at the end in order to go up 2-1. And then the last game they just gave us. And Jokic didn't play, and we beat them. And then that ended up hurting them, because at the end they got upset by the Spurs, which allowed them to have a tying record with us, which did what? Allowed us to be the number one overall seed. So games matter. You can't give away games. That's what I was trying to tell the people, the other guys on after the storm, after the Thunder game last night. They're like, oh, he's the mad scientist. I'm like, the hell with all that. You can't give away games. They matter. Games matter whether they're now or they're later. You cannot give away games. You've got to win games that you need to win. And 50-50 games, you've got to make sure for sure that you win your 50-50 games, which are your Golden States, your T-Wolves, your Nuggets, your Lakers, Rockets. Those are 50-50 wins because they could beat us easily like we could beat them. Now, we have more talent than they do. Our bench is deeper than all of those teams I just mentioned. So we should be able to get that done. But if you don't play the right lineups and you don't understand the flow of the game in order to make the right lineups at the right time when the flow of the game starts changing, you make the moves in order to counteract that change, then you're in trouble, which is what I was saying last night. And that's what bothers me about this coach. And, I don't necessarily fire him. Put some veteran coaches on the bench who can understand and said, hey, coach, no, we need to do that. Like I was saying last night, we're the only team that I've ever seen. When the opposing team's best player goes in, we don't put in our best player. They were sitting for 2 or 3 minutes. Well, they made a run, then you try to put him in because you were managing minutes bullshit. That's what happens. You can't do it. It costs you. And those are the things that drive me nuts about this guy. That minutes management stuff, I get it to a certain extent, but there are certain games that minutes management, no, we got to win this game. It's a 50-50 game. All that minutes management shit's got to go away. And I understand, like I said last night on After the Storm, I know that he knows because when he makes a mistake, he fixes it by putting in his best 5. So he tries to fix the mistake, but he's already made the mistake. Instead of doing that in the beginning when the flow started to happen, you don't wait till after it happens to try to curtail it. You go ahead when you feel it about to happen, boom, you put that plug in it right away. You don't wait till the water starts dripping when you hear like, oh, what is that, a drip? You hear, I'd rather have a drip. Let me go fix that drip, instead of waiting till there's a downfall. Well, hell, the dam's broken in. And those are the things that I tried to relate to people, and Nathan and I were laughing, or Nathan was getting all pissed off at me because he says, now listen to myself and the commander, he doesn't enjoy games like he used to. And I'm like, well, brother, the reason why you don't is because now you understand what the game, and when you understand the game, you're still enjoying it, but you're more critical because you're noticing things that you didn't before. That's what makes it not as much fun, but like I told him, welcome to my damn world. That's how I live. That's how the commander lives. Those are people who understand basketball. That's how we live. What the hell are you doing? You see the things that they're doing that you know are not going to work, and it matters, okay? It just does. And this brings me to the All-Star game. I saw this, I forget what I saw it on this morning, but they were talking about the All-Star game. And they were talking about how Adam Silver is trying to fix it. And I'm like, these kids today, they don't give a shit. They don't. They're making so much money, they don't care. They don't care about what the guys went through before them to allow them to be where they are. And they don't give a shit about the people who are coming after them that are going to benefit just like they did. Because they're about themselves. Because they were brought up that way from the time they were young. Not having to go to class, not having to get away with this, not having to get away with that. Not to say that hasn't always happened, because it has. But what it does is it allows these kids to go, I'm making so much money, and they make business decisions. I saw this stat the other day. Michael Jordan played 9 seasons. He had 9 seasons where he played all games. Has LeBron even had 1 season where he's played all the games? Does he even have seasons together where he could put it? Does he have 3 seasons that he could put 2 together that says that? So the kids today make business decisions because I'm making 180, 190. And what I was saying that I like about Trae Young is Trae Young, because of his dad and because of his mom, because of his upbringing, that he's about, yeah, I'm going to make money, but I want to play. This has been my lifelong dream. And these guys, NFL, the same way, they're the same way. They make business decisions because, hey, I need to get paid because the money is so great. Now, most of you don't remember, the NBA used to do these long contracts where they were 8, 9 years guaranteed. Now they've dropped it to 5 or 4. Drop it to 2. Drop it to 1. You get one your first year like football. You get part of a guarantee that said we're going to guarantee 60% of your contract. 70% of your contract. Guess what? They'll play a lot harder then. You can't afford to take games off because if you do, guess what? You may not get paid. All your money's not guaranteed like it is now. So they don't give a shit. They just don't. They don't care about the All-Star game. They want to go out there, shoot threes, dunk, and have fun, and don't care. Not even a real pickup game. They play harder in pickup games than they do in the All-Star game. And I agree with this particular co-host, and I've said this before. Make it the Europeans versus the Americans. Now, there's not enough Europeans players to make it competitive over a full 48 minutes. But let's do that. Let's do Jokic and Giannis and SGA and Luka and who else would it be? And Wemby. And you go against the other Americans, which would be Ant-Man, Steph, LeBron, KD, Jason Tatum. Now, the Americans are going to get them 6 through 10, no doubt. But let's do that. Guess what will happen then? They'll start playing there because you're playing for your country. You got more pride on it. You got something. You have something you're playing for. Now, I also have said, make it to where you're playing for whoever wins the East or the West. Whoever wins gets the home court advantage in the playoffs for the finals. So it doesn't matter if you have the best record or not. Like in baseball, it doesn't matter who has the best record. It's who won the All-Star game. Let's do that. Put something that, divided into 3 games where, they play X number of minutes and then whoever wins the up-and-coming stars plays this group. I mean, that's fine. It's novel, but these guys don't give a shit. You got to give them something that matters to make them want to play, other than the fact that they should play. To me, they're not thankful that you've got these fans, that they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars because these people are coming. Like for me, LeBron, I don't like the fact, that's why I say he's not the greatest. He takes off games. How many kids' parents saved up money for the one game he's going to come to that city, and he don't play? The one chance that they have to watch LeBron play in their whole life, he don't play because he wants to take a game off. How are you the greatest of all time? And that's what you do. Jordan, 9 years where he didn't miss a game. Because LeBron is about longevity. LeBron is about putting up numbers. LeBron is about trying to say, I'm the greatest player ever because look at my numbers. Okay, well, what's that got to do with you disappearing in the finals? If you're the GOAT, GOATs don't disappear in the Super Bowl. GOATs don't disappear in the World Series. GOATs don't disappear in the World Cup finals. GOATs don't disappear. GOATs show up. You disappeared. How are you the GOAT? Twice you did it. Twice. Not once. Twice you did it. And you're the GOAT. What you are is you're a more athletic Magic Johnson. That's why you're number 6. And not in my top 5. You're 6. You're just right in front of Larry Bird at 7. I'm not putting you in front of Wilt. I'm not putting you in front of Kareem. I'm not putting you in front of Magic. I'm not putting you in front of Kobe. I'm not putting you in front of MJ. I'm just not. I'm putting you 6. Because those guys came to play every game. They weren't sitting here looking at stats. They weren't taking games off because, to me, the one thing you should do is build the future. And if little kids who want to be an NBA player and you're their favorite player and their parents save up, and these people who don't have a whole lot of money who sit up in Loud City, they don't have a lot of money. And they save up for the one game because that's where they can take their son or their daughter to watch you play. And you take it off. You ain't the GOAT. I'm sorry. You ain't the GOAT. You ain't the GOAT. Sorry. Can't do it. Now, that being said, NFL this weekend, of course, it's Thanksgiving, so you know what that means. Full schedule of games. And I was looking at it, I'm like, man, there's some good games coming up this weekend. So here's the NFL schedule. And I like this because we have Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, and we've never had Friday game before. And it's amazing who they put on that game on Friday night standalone. Of course, it's the Chiefs. That's who they put as that particular game. It's the Chiefs. Okay? But on Thursday, 11 o'clock Thanksgiving, so Thursdays is when you eat and you lay down and take a nap while watching football. That's what Thursdays are for me. I eat and I take a nap. I eat, I take a nap. And most people do the same thing, I think, that I do. You got the Bears and the Lions to start everything off, and they usually are the first game. They're 11:30 on CBS. The Lions minus 10. Man, I think they're going to beat the brakes off them. I just think they will. Burgess, what's up? What's up, big dog? How you doing? What happened to you last night, big dog? Thought you'd be on talking last night. Giants and the Cowboys are the second game at 3 o'clock. Or the second game at 3 o'clock. Cowboys minus 3.5-point favorites. I think I'm going to be eating enough to where that's the game that I'm going to take my nap in. And then the Dolphins and the Packers, I want to kind of be refreshed for that game to watch that. But that middle game, the Giants and the Cowboys, I think, that's my game. I think I'm going to take a nap. Dallas 3.5-point favorites, over under 37.5. I have no desire to watch that snooze. That's a game that's going to try to put me to sleep. That's the way I look at that game. I have no desire at all. Zero. Dolphins and Packers. Packers 3.5-point favorites, over under 46.5. That game is going to, how good that game is going to depend on how cold it is. That's what that's going to be. If it's cold, then they'll watch it. So that's what that's going to happen. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen in that game, how cold it is. Because if it's snowing and freezing, the Dolphins don't have a prayer. And the Dolphins need this game. They've got to continue to win and to continue to do things if they're going to be better. They've got to do that. Friday, the standalone game for the NFL that day is the Raiders and the Chiefs. Chiefs 12.5-point favorites, over under 42.5. 42.5. Man, I tell you what, that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. I'll definitely try to watch that game because I know that when do we play? Football, we play Friday at 11, I think, football OSU. I think the OSU game's at 11 on Friday, so that's perfect. You can watch that and then turn around and watch the Chiefs after that. Then on Sunday, God, you got a full slate. Colts and Patriots, who cares? Oh, by the way, the Chiefs minus 12.5-point favorites. That's a lot of points. I'm going to take the Raiders. I don't think the Chiefs can beat them by that much because it's too much of a game where they hate each other, rivals since the 60s. I just don't see the Chiefs beating them by that many points. Colts and the Patriots. Patriots plus 2.5, so the Colts are our favorite. So we'll see how that plays out. 42.5 is the over-under. That game's at noon as well on CBS. And by the way, the Friday game will be on Prime. I'm going to hate that. Then you have the Steelers and the Bengals. Man, that's going to be a great game. I cannot wait to watch that game. Bengals minus 3, over under 46.5. That game on CBS as well. So I'm assuming that we're going to get that game on our Oklahoma City local station. That's the game I hope we get. I'm hoping we get that. If not, that's going to really suck. Because when you look at the other game on CBS, Chargers and the Falcons, who cares about that? And the Colts and Patriots, who cares about that? The Steelers and the Bengals will be the big game that everybody wants to watch. Because now, if Joe Mixon was still playing for sure, we'd have that Bengals game on. But that's just a huge game, a conference game between those two, a divisional game between those two. And if the Bengals are going to have any chance to make the playoffs, they've got to win this. And the Steelers, of course, have to come back from that debacle against Cleveland. I don't understand what Tomlin was doing, putting Justin Fields in there with the game on the line, not playing Russell. I get too. Hey, that's why his record is what it is on Thursdays. He's just, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Chargers and the Falcons. Falcons, I feel sorry for them because they started out really, really good like a juggernaut, and they've slowly come down to earth. The Chargers lost last night, or the other night, on Monday night. Well, that was last night. Yeah, they lost last night. So I think they'll be on revenge toward this Sunday in a short week to go against the Falcons. So I think they've got a lot of redeeming to do for them. That's kind of how I look at that. Then, of course, the Seahawks and the Jets. Nobody cares unless you're a Seahawks fan or you're a Jets fan. Nobody cares. Because when you look at the Chargers and the Falcons, it's plus 1.5. The Chargers are at home there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so I don't care about that. I don't care about the Jets +2 over the Seahawks. I think Aaron Rodgers. I saw this stat the other day, guys. I'm gonna share this, guys, with you because I thought this was extremely interesting. I mean, I just when I saw this, I was like, wow. And then somebody said it, I think, on air today, and I thought this was extremely telling when it comes to Tom Brady and what he does. I thought this was really interesting. So, Joe Montana joined the Chiefs. They went to the title, leaving the 49ers. Remember, because they not benched him, but basically said you can leave because of Steve Young. Peyton Manning, he basically left the Colts because they wanted Andrew Luck, which I can understand, but Peyton still had some game left in him. Peyton goes to the Broncos. They go to 2 Super Bowls, and he wins one, which for his second Super Bowl win, which, of course, he needed to match his brother. Tom Brady joined the Bucks, and they win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers joins the Jets, and he gets the coach and the GM fired midseason. That says all you need to say about us as woke crowd. I don't even know what the hell woke means, but whatever he is, I'm not for him, so I'm clearly on the woke side. I don't even know what that means, but I'm that, whatever that is. Texans at the Jaguars. Huge game for both, but especially for the Texans. The Jaguars +5. They're at home in Jacksonville. Over-under is 43.5. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in that. I do believe that that they would take care of business in that game, talking about the Texans, because C.J. Stroud needs a W bad. And he's in that sophomore slump that he's going through. Not all quarterbacks go through it, but not all players go through it. But it's called the sophomore slump for a reason. Then, of course, you have the Titans and the Commanders. Nobody cares unless you're a Titans fan or you're a Commanders fan. The rest of us, we don't care. But we've already got the game that we want to see, and that is the Steelers and the Bengals. And, of course, the Cardinals and the Vikings. We may see that because that's going to be a great game between the – and I can't believe I missed that. Cardinals and Vikings, that's going to be a great game. Vikings -3.5 at home. Cardinals, Kyler's got to come back and win. He threw a horrible interception last week. God, it was terrible. God, it was bad, and it cost him. So I'm interested to see how he bounces back from that. 3.5-point favorites, 45.5. That game is on Fox. So the 2 games we'd want to see, and of course Kyler. When you look at the who was it? Titans and Commanders. Or you got a chance the Steelers and Bengals. Or you could do the Chargers and the Falcons. Or you can do the Colts and Patriots. So clearly we all want to see the Steelers and the Bengals. And then on the Fox channel, our choices are the Texans and the Jaguars, the Cardinals and the Vikings, which of course with Kyler as the quarterback, I'm assuming that's the game we're going to have. So that'll be 2 great games, Steelers and Bengals on CBS and the Cardinals and the Vikings on Fox. Those would be amazing games. But being local Oklahoma next to Texas, they'll probably give us the Texans and the Jaguars, which I will be pissed off if they do that. Give us the best game. That's what we want. I know you're a regional bias thing, but we want the best game. That's what we want as a sports fan. But, of course, that's why they have the NFL ticket. If you don't like what they're showing, you can pay for it and you can get your own. I think that's why they did it that way. Then, of course, the Buccaneers and the Panthers, 3 o'clock game. Everybody's boy Baker Mayfield, which he's just – now he's back getting him a little money. You can see his attitude starting to pop back up. He's starting to have that attitude again. He got humbled. That went away. He started winning, and now he's here he comes. It's just I don't get it. But at the Panthers, Panthers +6. I'm sure the Buccaneers will handle their business in order to keep the lead that they have in their division. Rams and Saints, the game afternoon on Fox. That should be a really good game. The Saints +2.5-point underdogs. And I look at that, and the Rams should handle their business, especially after what happened last week. But, you never know how it's going to work. Okay, you never know which team is going to do. If the Rams are going to rebound, or if the Saints are going to continue doing what they're doing with the new coach. You know, new coach always interjects a certain energy and certain difference to that team to make them play differently. It just works out that way. And then, of course, the Eagles and the Ravens. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What a game that's going to be. Cannot wait. I'm definitely going to be watching that game. Definitely going to be having that, sit down and watching that game. I want to be sitting somewhere having a beer, watching that game. And then, of course, the Thunder's game Sunday. I believe it's Sunday night, which gives us the opportunity. Let me go check that. I want to say that's a Sunday evening game against the Rockets. Where is it? Oh, that's December 1st. Yeah, the 6 o'clock game, so that's perfect. So we can watch that game now. What would have been bad if the Niners and Bills would actually, if the Niners had their quarterback, it'd be different. But if Brock Purdy's not going to play, the Bills are going to beat the brakes off of the Niners, and they're going to be done for this year. So the question is, at that point, what do we do? Do we go ahead and sell off guys to get draft picks to rebuild, or do we keep everything status quo and play Brock Purdy $60 million, which I just don't see it. 50-something million I'm okay with, but 60-something million I just can't see it. The Monday night game, the Browns versus the Broncos. Broncos are going to handle their business with that, I believe. Bo Nix is playing well. I think he's going to continue his stranglehold, I believe, on the Rookie of the Year. I think Jaden Daniels, he's gone. We've seen the best of him almost. So I don't think we're going to continue to see a lot out of Jalen Daniels. And I think that the Broncos will handle their business for that. So, but anyway, I'm excited about this week. I'm excited about what's going to happen of this full slate of games. Of course, the Thunder tomorrow night, huge game against the Golden State Warriors. And then, of course, Thursday, Friday, we have huge games. Friday night, the Thunder play. Remember, the Chiefs are playing, and then we turn around and the Thunder are playing. Okay? So those are huge games for football. And then the Raiders and the Chiefs, and then, of course, then you have the Thunder playing. So those are huge games on the same night. And then, of course, Saturday, also OSU plays 11 o'clock on that day. So on Friday. So we got some huge games. Then the OU game is 6 o'clock, I believe. I think it's 6 o'clock Friday night or Saturday night. So a friend of mine is having a party, so I may go do that. And then, of course, Sunday, you have a big slate of games that we talked about, and also the Thunder play at 6 o'clock Sunday night against the Rockets in Houston. So that being said, I want to thank everybody over here at Georgia's Happy Hog. I'm ready to go get my food. I want to thank YNB for their support and helping us, sponsor us, for us to be here, supporting women, minority, and black-owned businesses. And for the rest of y'all, come by Georgia's, get you some greens, get you some mac and cheese, get you some ribs, get you